This time on Support Local Baton Rouge by The Advocate, I got to step inside a glowing wonderland and discover a new festive tradition called Louisiana Lights. This is being put on at the historic Windrush Gardens at Burton and the LSU Rural Life Museum. Up first, I got to talk with Dr. Jeff Keeney, director of the LSU Ag Center Botanic Gardens at Burton, about how this beautiful light show came to be.
Thank you so much for joining us. I am thrilled to talk to you today about Louisiana Lights.
We're excited to have you here and share what we're developing for the public.
When did this all start?
This started many years ago, probably when I was a little kid, just loving Christmas.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And I had a love of Christmas, but I also had a love of horticulture and gardens my whole life. And I was fortunate enough to come out here about 13 years ago from campus and become the director of the Botanic Gardens. And I was challenged with really implementing a Botanic Gardens along with the Rural Life Museum, which was already a very public entity here in Baton Rouge. And so as part of that plan, you know, we were looking at how we could generate interest in the gardens and also build the gardens at the same time. One really unique thing we have here at Burton, among many, is Windrush Gardens. It's one of the most historic gardens in our region. It's over 100 years old now. Designed by Steele Burton, did most of the landscaping on LSU campus, and it's just this magical 5-acre semi-formal garden that a lot of people don't even know exists.
I have come to the Botanic Gardens, I have come to the museum, and I have multiple times, and I've never been to Windrush Gardens. I'm really looking forward to this event and just seeing all of the lights and experiencing it. So talk to me a little bit about what can people expect when they come out here?
This garden outside of the lights is a magical garden. So it has that wonderful aura about it. And this light show is really building on that magic. And we hired a landscape architect who's designs light shows around the country to come in specifically so he could take the inspiration of the garden and bring it to life with lights. It's going to highlight each garden room, and there's many garden rooms. It's actually 1.5 miles of walking through the gardens.
Oh,
yes.
That'll count for people's steps
yes,
on that day.
It sure will.
I love that. And you know, I mean, the way you're describing it, it's just going to be magical, and it's going to, as you said, expose and kind of, you know, be a little twofold with getting people out here all the way back to the back where the Rural Life Museum is, but also with the Botanic Gardens and giving people the opportunity to see the great things that are going on back here.
It's experiencing the outdoors and the beauty of the gardens as well, lit up at night.
Right.
And so we've got different activations, if you will, or themes to the light show. The theme here is the holiday hallway that we're in right now.
Okay.
And Trey was very good at naming all of these different activation areas. We will follow through to Moravian Stars, Scintillation Stream. And let's see, where do we go from the doves?
Oh.
We've got a radiant rondelle, which is a 30-foot Christmas tree, an oscillating orchard, a prismatic parterre. We have a lakeside stroll, and finally, the very exit experience is a beautiful alley tunnel that you'll walk through.
It will run every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings until December 29th.
Correct.
Okay, so I know tickets are on sale now.
They are.
So people need to go and tell us how they can, how our viewers can get the tickets.
Yeah, they can go to Discover Burton, discoverburton.com, just Google it and go on there. They'll have Louisiana Lights, which is the name of our show, where the holidays shine, because it is all about Louisiana, and get their tickets there.
Okay, and you know, you can come out here and park on property. I did notice there's all sorts of great information there. And I did happen to see there's a couple of special event nights going on.
There are.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, so Rural Life Museum has had a tradition holiday Christmas event every year that's a family, attended by families. It's kind of a historical thing. They're going to have a special night that people can come through the Rural Life Museum Christmas and then enjoy the light show after that. The third is going to be able to bring your pet or your dog. So we'll have a pet night that people can bring their pets, come through the gardens. And then finally we have poinsettias and prosecco, which is the Friends of the Botanic Gardens fundraiser. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic evening where it will be special just for that evening. We're going to have food stations throughout the garden. We're going to have music. It's just going to be a wonderful holiday evening event.
I just think about all the people visiting in town because it starts the Friday after Thanksgiving.
It does.
So, you know, what a great thing to do when your loved ones are in town or just with friends, family, you name it. I am super excited about this event. It has been a delight to talk to you. I can't wait to get a sneak peek and for people to experience it.
Next, I wanted to learn about what visitors could expect when touring Louisiana Lights. So I met with Bill Stark, director at LSU Rural Life Museum and Windrush Gardens.
So many people, you know, I'm born and raised in Baton Rouge. I love it. I have visited this site numerous times. I've never been to the Windrush Gardens. I did not. I know there's 440 acres out here, so
Yeah.
I can perhaps understand why I've missed them, but I'm super excited for this new event to showcase the gardens to someone like me who's enjoyed multiple events at this property.
Well, and that's the thing is there's a number of people who know this property, know the gardens and love it, but there's so many more to introduce it to. So we're hoping that when people come out here and visit this, if they're coming like you for the first time, then they're going to be introduced to it and want to come back and experience it through all the other times of year, especially in spring when it's just beautiful out there. And then for the people who already do know this and have been out here, that they're going to see it in a whole new way.
Right.
They're going to be excited to come out, and they're going to have just a new touchstone. It's going to be something that people are going to be able to come out here, come probably multiple times or year after year with their families and with their friends, and just enjoy an evening stroll through the lights with music playing, and of course we'll have hot chocolate and
Okay, good. I love that.
and s'mores pits
Yes.
and other kinds of food that they'll be able to. The adults will be able to enhance their hot chocolate if they would like.
Oh,
So
that's a neat twist.
Yep. So we're really it's a good thing for us because it helps us with our mission to both you know, have this open, have this available to the public. Slide in a little bit of education there where we can, let people learn a little bit about it. But it's also going to help us care for these gardens going forward.
Right, and talk to me a little bit about the partnership with the botanic gardens that we have going on. So again, I know, as I mentioned, you're with the museum, the Rural Life Museum, and the Botanic Gardens is a little bit closer to the road, shall we say, on the property.
Yeah, well, we are, when you turn onto Bird Museum and Gardens, the Rural Life Museum, and therefore the entrance to Windrush Gardens, is about 1.25 miles back. And I like to say that you're in the middle of Baton Rouge, but you're 100 miles from anywhere. So you really get transported back into that countryside experience, that feel. You slowly get further and further removed. You actually end on a dirt road while you're coming back here. And so it kind of just, you actually can get kind of soothed and settled before you come and experience whether it's the museum or the Windrush Gardens. And that's all by design. Steele Burden and the Burden family, who left this wonderful gift to LSU and by extension to the people of Louisiana, wanted to hold this place. And at the time, you know, and this was in the 1960s when he started doing this, but at the time when the family started out here, this was out of town. This was way out of town. Now the city has grown up around it. You know, so we've got this 440-acre green space set aside, not to be touched by malls and restaurants and other things that would come in, office buildings. And so it's really a wonderful respite. And we're really hoping that this will introduce more people to the property. It's a tranquil place, but it's also a place of a lot of fun for families year-round.
Right, y'all are constantly having events out here. Just to add this one to the long list of things, the wonderful events, and as you mentioned, sliding in a little education there is wonderful for, you know, our children as well as the adults to learn something new and be exposed to new things here. It's just amazing and beautiful, and I'm so excited that this is starting. And it starts on November 29th.
Yes.
And it's going to run through December 29th. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So we're going to be running for that full month from November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving, through to December 29th. It'll be every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening. First entry is at 5:30. and we'll have entry tickets. It's timed entry so that people can come and be kind of balanced in where they come through. So we want this to be the best experience possible for everybody who comes through. So there's timed entry, so if you want to go to dinner first and come here later, that's great. If you want to get the kids out and get them here so they can get home to bed, that's going to be fine too. There's going to be something for everybody as far as that goes. What's going to be kind of wonderful about it is that we're going to have music that helps wrap it up every night at the end. There's going to be an end experience. There's going to be activities. I already mentioned the concessions that'll be going on, so there'll be additional food and such that people will be able to purchase. And so
to really make an evening and an outing,
yes,
whether it's
absolutely.
you and a significant other, or you and your children, just or you and a group of friends. Lots of fun things to do and come and experience.
Well, and the price point that we put it at too, I mean, if you're taking your family of 4 out to a movie, I mean, even just a movie, it's comparable and cheaper, depending on how much candy you buy at the movie theater.
But all of the concessions, plus.
Yeah, so but it's so much more positive and interactive. You get to share this with people. Everybody likes to take their photos. There's going to be several photo opportunities around. But in between that time, we're hoping that people are going to want to put their phones back in their pockets and walk along and enjoy it themselves and have communion with their friends and family.
And experience a treasure that's literally in our backyard, right off the interstate, right off of Essen, that again, like you said, many people who drive past this every day have no idea what's back here. Bill, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it and so excited about Louisiana Lights. Guys, don't forget this holiday season to support local. Go to discoverburden.com and get your tickets today for Louisiana Lights.